Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, checking out some more SCPs. If you don't know what an SCP is, I do in the description have a link to what is it? A video called, I believe was called SCP Explained by the Volgun here. Same person. So I got a link to that. I also got a link to the Volgun's channel. And today, we're taking a look at SCP-610, the flesh that hates. It sounds kind of familiar. I might have read about this one, but I'm not 100% on that. Probably not, but we're about to find out.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, Jesus
My name is
Christ, what is
Researcher
that?
Noah, and the SCP we're going to be studying today is SCP-610.
Object class
Object
Keter.
class Keter.
Why is this, though? It looks like a Silent Hill game. What the... Ugh.
Special containment procedures.
Can you
Due to
what
the
is
vast
this?
area of infection SCP-610 covers, containment
Infection.
is impossible.
Oh.
Isolation of the area has proved far more effective, and permission has been granted by the Russian government to establish a perimeter to keep people out of these
It's in
areas
Russia,
under the guise
apparently.
of military operations. Should any organism displaying traits consistent with SCP-610 be sighted near this perimeter,
Shoot it
then
dead.
the established protocol requires it be engaged at range with small arms until immobile, then dispatched using incendiary weapons and munitions from as great a distance as possible.
So you can't just
Any
shoot
living
and
thing
kill.
coming in physical contact with an organism infected with SCP-610 is considered expendable and is to be immediately terminated and incinerated.
Okay, so what I'm getting is it's some kind of infectious virus, apparently, and dear God, apparently, is it saying you can't? No, wait, it's probably they probably can kill it with a bullet, but they gotta burn the body. Is that what it's getting at? It sounds
Any
like.
persons coming within 3 meters of SCP-610 infected life are to immediately withdraw from the area, be
3
isolated
meters.
from the rest of the team, and subjected to medical examination
Okay.
using only remote techniques to determine if infection has occurred, and appropriate steps taken based on that determination.
Okay, so it's like an airborne pathogen as well. I don't know. Is it like a virus? I mean, it's infectious, so fuck. How can they keep a virus even contained in an area? Like isolated, I guess if nobody really comes close, but it's this organism. It's like I guess it can infect anything that's living. And that's gonna be impossible to keep like birds, bugs, animals like rabbits, foxes, wolves out of that area. That's gonna be impossible, isn't it?
At present, the known infection vectors of SCP-610's spread seems to be focused on physical contact.
Okay.
Drone movements with heavily infected areas have returned air samples containing minute particulate, which, when exposed to organic compounds, will result in the spread of SCP-610.
Okay, so it's physical spread, but it has essentially can spread spores. Wow. And that kind of fucking sucks. I'm glad I'm not living in this universe.
The results of these particular tests have revealed that most require several days to manifest, if at all, with
Really?
the exception of direct contact with exposed lung and liver tissue. These particular tests show a rapid rate of growth, which requires incineration of the testing environment no more than 24 hours after initial exposure,
They're highly infectious.
even with a
Jeez.
2-hour mishap risking a compromised facility event. Given that this kind of rapid growth only occurs in organic material existing outside the human body, this form of infection is currently considered a minor concern.
Wait, so it doesn't affect humans? Is that what it's saying? Given that this kind of rapid growth only occurs in organic material existing outside the human body. So other animals and stuff?
These peculiarities have given rise to a series of questions regarding the possible origin of the infection in conjunction with the fatal containment protocol remains at a scorched earth policy at this time, and no concern for transmission via water or air infection parameters exist, barring situational changes in the field.
It's got particulates that can... So the air particulates don't affect humans? Is that what it's saying? And only physical contact? I'm not
Description.
I
Initial
had to
reports
reread
of
that.
SCP-610 came direct from the Russian government through undisclosable channels. These reports consisted primarily of disappearances of farmers in the region and were not considered until the local police, followed by the regional police,
Oh god.
and finally, a government dispatch agent, all failed to report
So they
within a
all turned into
72-hour period. A small
the meat
military
statues over
contingent
there.
was dispatched to the area and quickly withdrew, at which point the Foundation was contacted to investigate. The area SCP-610 affects is close to Lake Baikal in southern Siberia.
No idea where that
Areas
is.
of known infection are marked on the map provided to us. Containment perimeters
Is
are
that
marked
red
in
area?
blue surrounding these infection areas, and as of present, no further locations have been identified.
That we know
Incursions
of.
into the perimeter must be reported prior to conducting, confirmed
boy.
during exploration, and debriefed on immediately following return. SCP-610 appears to be a contagious skin disease at first, with symptoms including rash, itching, and increased skin sensitivity.
Okay.
Within 3 hours, the disease will cause blemishes resembling heavy scar tissue to form in the chest and arm areas.
Jesus, so I'm assuming within 24 hours they turn into those piles of meat, apparently. That hates. Because this is called the meat that hates, the flesh that hates. But yeah, I don't know. Are they still able to move? Or
Spreading to
can
the
they
legs
still...
and back within an additional hour,
That's
consuming
nasty.
the victim completely within 5 hours.
So it's just... Wait, so they just turn into complete scar tissue. Blemishes resembling heavy scar tissue to form in the chest and arms area, spreading to the legs and back within an additional hour. So within 4 hours... Oh, within 5 hours, the entire body is just essentially scar tissue.
Exposure to high temperatures vastly decreases the time for the contagion to spread, and complete infections have been recorded occurring in as little as 5 minutes.
So the hot... Wait, how are you killing him with incineration with the hotter it is? Why incinerate the bodies then? If it's just the hotter it is, this decreases the time. That means it gets faster to... I guess because the body's already dead. It's been shot dead, and then I don't fucking know.
After the completion of the infection occurs, the victim's life functions will cease for approximately 3 minutes.
Oh god, it's gonna go for a zombie.
They will restart at 2 to 3 times the activity rate of a normal human. Following this, the scar tissue on the victims will start to move of its own accord.
I'm sorry, what?
And grow at a rapid rate. Normal human features start to disappear at this point under the infection, and the path of mutation appears to be largely random.
That's
Subjects
nasty.
observed during this stage of infection have been recorded as growing 3 or more limbs of a type, such as arms or legs.
Ooh.
The head may become misshapen and elongate or widen out.
Yeah, that's
and parts
elongated,
of the
alright.
subject may split open,
Oh, that's
from
terrible.
which additional branches of flesh will grow. The duration of this stage of infection is unknown, and not all subjects appear to progress to the later stages.
So are they
Under unknown conditions,
technically
an
alive?
infected individual will cease moving and place itself in a location it deems suitable where it roots itself. The fleshy growth on the victim will
damn.
then begin to spread across all surrounding objects and consume them. Such objects do not spread infection as living creatures do, however,
Okay,
and
that's
the effect of
good.
prolonged contact with these objects is recorded later in this document. It is assumed that this behavior is to create an area hospitable to continued growth of the other infected. Observation of life infected by SCP-610 by staff is impossible. Those infected
Really?
with the disease immediately seek out aid, as natural human impulse resulting in unintended infections. Those infected past the scar tissue phase actively and aggressively attempt to infect anyone approaching them
Oh, well that's
within an
not
undefined
good.
area. It has been established that should an infected be capable of sight and observe an uninfected, it will proceed towards them.
So
If the
it's trying
infected
to
has lost the ability
spread.
of sight, a range of approximately 30 meters is considered safe.
Wait, how do they detect if they don't got sight? Smell, hearing, or do they just get a sixth sense that there is a person nearby that's not infected? It's essentially just trying to spread itself more than anything after it hits somebody, I guess. So does that mean it's taking over their brain or whatever's left of the brain? Because fuck, it's probably mush in there at this point. But I guess it's taking over their brain, the thinking, and essentially just makes it to thing can just spread. Kind of like the, what was it called? Was it a cortisone? Uh, spore, a cortisone fungus, something like that infects ants. Essentially takes over the brain and makes it so that they crawl up to the highest point, and then yeah, the plant sprouts out of the head and then shoots spores down onto the ground and hopefully infect more ants. It's kind of like that. Is it cortisone? Is it cordyceps? 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 Something like that.
Observation of SCP-610 infected settlements has been established using artificial methods
settlements.
such as remote robots. The data returned from these observations, coupled with the openly aggressive nature of the infected to attempt to spread SCP-610, has resulted in the Kenner classification.
Okay.
However, so long as nothing is allowed to enter or leave the infected areas, it is considered a neutralized threat. Of concern are the cavernous areas beneath the infected settlements that were discovered during the exploration, and attempts to get research personnel into these areas are underway.
Yeah, you might want to fill those caverns up. I don't know how, but yeah, or at least, block all possible exits you find. Because, so apparently there's settlements in there too. They're sending in remote robots, but would that not, would the robots not, I mean, they won't, get infected, obviously, but would the, whatever this is, virus, or whatever kind of infection, would that not leave? Would that not be on the robot like a layer of dust or something? And you probably shouldn't touch it. Maybe? I don't know.
Okay. We will now be going over the field logs associated with SCP-610.
Field logs?
Unfortunately, at this time, SCP-610-L6 has been redacted.
L6?
The only thing available about this field log is it's an exploration record of Operation Source Point, which I've been informed is for Class A personnel or higher only. So, without further ado, this is field log SCP-610-L1. A small remote-controlled rover is sent to Site A to locate missing personnel.
I kind of just want to leave those missing guys there for dead. I mean, even if they don't look infected, you might not want to take them out or touch them or anything. Maybe just put them out of their misery.
After establishing the containment perimeter for SCP-610, the Russian government approved our requests to research and investigate the area. For the first such exploration, a small camera-mounted unit known as a Herbie was dispatched at a safe distance and directed towards Site A. Herbie has a battery life of 12 hours and a control range far wider than that required for this dispatch.
Why only 12 hours? I feel like it should be a
Herbie
bit more.
Herbie is able to enter Site A without incident. The landscape around Site A shows early stages of assimilation by singular SCP-610 infected who have fallen at largely random intervals around what remains of the village. Many of the homes appear to have suffered fire damage long since put out. However, a fair amount remain intact. Aerial reconnaissance of Site A, combined with thermal imaging, has put it at an estimated population of 79 infected.
So that means it was a village of 79 people that got fucked, apparently. Dear God, that image is so disturbing right there. What is that from? Is that from like a Silent Hill movie, game, something? It's gotta be from like some kind of horror genre thing. God, it's disturbing as fuck.
Immobile infected are included in this number. However, it is difficult to ascertain an exact percentage of mobile versus immobile.
So I'm guessing they don't really move that much.
Mutation due to SCP-610 are present in Site A, and it is assumed all the inhabitants are in advanced stages of the infection.
I mean, even if they weren't.
The exterior of the village for 2 hours, during which time all infected behaved with what appeared to be a loose sense of social structure.
Really?
Because Herbie remained stationary during this observation period, it is unknown precisely what each individual infected person was doing. However, the Central Plaza experienced occasional bursts of activity and downtime. Requiring more information,
that's interesting.
Herbie was directed to follow an infected as it entered a home. The There is a bumpy camera feed as Herbie scoots over the gravel behind the quickly shambling infected person. The interior of this home is the same as that attached to the primary file, or SCP-610.
So
the
that
infected
mess.
being tailed
Okay.
is the one sitting at the table. After entering the home, Herbie's camera was raised slowly.
So did he intentionally pick up his head and put it on the plate on the table to rest? God, that head's got to be hanging like 4 feet, man. He could probably, if he still had his junk, he could suck his own dick. It's not even. I mean, some people might like that, but I don't think they want to end up looking like that to do it. But damn.
As to not to draw attention. This action was either unnoticed or ignored. The infected person is watched from the doorway as it hobbles around the home and stops at each of the other visible infected organisms. However, it appears to ignore the one under the table, which, while not immobile, does not leave that area. What this creature was before infection is unclear.
Pet? Maybe it was a pet. Maybe like the other ones he greeted, I guess. And stops at each of the other visible infected. So I'm assuming the ones that he stopped at, or I guess greeted, are family members. And the one under the table is probably a pet dog or something.
After lapping the table and repeating this procedure 3 times,
okay,
the primary infected person, known as
did
Alpha,
that 3 times.
henceforward stops at the bedridden infected, known as Beta, and proceeds to assault it with furious punches. Beta is unable to leave the bed for unknown reasons, but it is not completely immobile as it flails its arms in response to the beatings delivered by Alpha.
So, an abusive family. Huh. That's,
After several sustained minutes of this beating, a piercing sound explodes from the area around Beta, who then proceeds to project a cloud of unknown matter into the air from its chest cavity. Alpha lingers in the cloud as it floats in the air around them, slowly descending into the ground. The unknown life form on the table aside Beta begins to twitch in an apparent seizure, and Alpha again laps the room twice more, stopping again at each infected organism, but still ignoring the one under the table, as well as Beta now. After these 2 laps, Alpha seats itself at the table and reaches out to position the 3 plates atop it as if setting a dinner set. After the plates are positioned, the facial tendrils extending from Alpha wiggle up and start to coil on one of the plates before tearing apart and separating. This is repeated at each plate. The image attached to SCP-610's primary file is a still image of the
so it comes off. Then what the fuck? So essentially it's like cutting off a tail or something of a lizard, except it grows back really, really fast. I'm assuming. What the fuck is going on? Is that what they're gonna eat? Do they eat? I don't think they eat. Why would he do that? Is it going to grow into something?
After each plate is filled with Alpha's flesh, it leaves the table and approaches Herbie, which is moved from Alpha's path. Alpha leaves the home, but Kirby's camera remains focused on the table. After several minutes, a group comprised of 6 to 7 infected enter the room.
Are they going to eat it?
Still ignoring Herbie. Each infected shambles as if movement is difficult, jerking in large steps or squirming in small ones. These infected all surround the table and each take turns grabbing handfuls of the flesh substance left by Alpha, pressing it into whatever orifices on themselves they can.
So they are eating
some into mouths, some into the chest, some behind their backs, some under the arms. When all the plates are empty, this group leaves. Herbie remains here for several more minutes before retracting its camera and leaving.
Yeah, Herbie was there watching in horror of all this, apparently.
Herbie collides with an object. Panning the camera around, the obstruction appears to be Alpha, whose facial tendrils are intermingling with another infected having similar mutations. The impact is ignored.
So they're making out, apparently.
The infected part ways after several minutes. Herbie is then directed to explore more areas of the village.
What the fuck is
The
happening?
remains of what appears to have been a store show signs of severe fire damage, as well as activity inside the building, which Herbie moves to investigate. The door is slightly ajar, and with firm movements of Herbie, it is pushed open. No notice is taken of this action, or it is ignored.
Probably ignored. Oh, this
Inside
camera
the
can't
store
hear.
are several infected persons, most of whom are standing around. However, one is on the ground rolling back and forth over the space of approximately 0.3 meters. It's about 1 foot, and is ignored by the others. Herbie rolls under the divider, separating the cashier area from the customer area, and pans around behind the counter. The upper half of a person is protruding from a cellar door behind the counter.
Is it a
This person
person?
does not appear to be suffering from advanced infection and wears the garb of a Russian soldier.
Okay, so it's
Herbie
actually a
zooms in
person.
the camera to confirm identification, and it is noticed the eyes of this person are in constant movement, often focusing on Herbie. The rest of the soldier does not move. Herbie is directed to leave this area
Why is
and
he
proceeds to
still...
the back room. In this storage area, a large pile of bodies are stacked together.
Oh, that's
Some
great.
pieces of clothing are visible and appear to contain both military garb and everyday clothing. No facial features are discernible on any of the bodies due to the way they're stacked. Atop the bodies, an infected sits, appearing to have its lower parts fused to the pile,
What the fuck is
and
it?
with its upper half in a wild state of flailing and seizure. Approximately every 10 seconds, a burst of spores flies out the top of this infected, which linger in the air. Herbie is directed to leave the building.
Yeah, you might not want to touch Herbie ever again. Probably just leave it in that village. I don't know. Just okay. So a couple questions. Who is the soldier that is apparently not in advanced state of infected, and when did he get there? Because holy shit, if he's still sapient, if he's still conscious, he's probably horrified as all fuck. And a pile. Okay, so a pile of bodies. Are the bodies all fused together as well? Some pieces of wait. Storage area. Large pile of bodies are stacked together. No, I guess they're not. Some pieces of clothing are visible. But there's an infect that sits on top of this entire pile and is fused to it, and is apparently shitting out spores out of its mouth while flailing its arms like a fucking like the inflatable tube man, I guess. This fucking SCP is horrific. What the fuck is going on?
After leaving this building, Herbie passes by the village well,
Okay.
surrounding which are a series of immobile infected, all facing the well.
Oh, that's
the arms
not
of each
good.
of these infected persons are stretched out, one in contact with the next, forming a perfect chain, save for one, whose arms are down at his sides. Herbie passes by this last infected to approach what appears to have been a town hall or mayor's building when the infected becomes mobile and snatches the rover up.
Oh, well, that's
Video
not
feed
good.
from Herbie focuses on the face of the infected, which is strangely in perfect shape given the condition of the rest of its body, which is horribly bloated. This infected
sounds
was
horrific.
once a young girl from appearance,
That sucks.
estimated 10 to 12.
Oh, that
Herbie is
sucks.
rolled side to side in its grip as its face stares motionless at the rover. The infected's face
Poor
suddenly
child.
balloons in size and
Oh.
explodes outward into a series of fleshy flaps that grip Herbie and draw it inside.
So
Herbie's video feed terminates here.
So she ate Herbie. Yeah, so I guess her face opened up. Is that what happened? Like one of those things from Parasite, the anime, not the like the Korean drama show. Yeah, apparently. And just ate Herbie. How big was Herbie? Like what was Herbie's size? Like a handheld? Because apparently it's. I feel like it would have been a little bit bigger. But no, she ate him. He's gone.
Herbie was considered lost at this point. However, no one at control remembered to turn off the video feed, assuming it cut.
Oh, that's
5 hours
terrible.
later, Herbie's video feed resumed, stationary and at raised level, pointing at the upper rim of the village well.
What?
The video feed contains some blur due to what appears to be a slimy film, which often oozes across the lens, but when not obscured, provides perfect quality recording. Herbie does not respond to any remote commands, but its video jerks back and forth from target to target, zooming in and zooming out of its own accord. Video feed is cut manually, and all connections to Herbie's unit are ordered erased.
So did she regurgitate it into the well? 5 hours later, Herbie's video feed resumed stationary and at a raised level, pointing at the upper rim of the village well. So either Herbie was regurgitated, or the little girl infected that ate him 5 hours later. The infection had advanced much further, and I don't know, maybe their chest burst open or something, and Herbie's camera was able to be pointed out of the chest or some shit. I don't fucking know, but okay, all right.
Moving on. This is field log SCP-610L2. An infected Class D personnel is sent into Site C with video equipment.
Oh, he's already infected?
During construction of the perimeter surrounding SCP-610's containment area, several Class D personnel were infected due to assaults from the infected villagers or animals roaming the area, in addition to a number of infections as a result of escape attempts and careless behavior. Most of these infected personnel were immediately destroyed with flamethrowers. However, a small collection of infected were contained in cold storage units, which prolonged the inevitable progression of SCP-610's mutative properties.
So they just put them in the fridge, literally.
Some of these infected personnel as video relays and dispatch them to nearby sites.
I mean, they are Class D,
Due to the concern over loss of equipment, as evidenced in SCP-610L1, all 3 subjects that were used in this manner were sent in with a single video system to Site C. Additional equipment issued for this dispatch include a 1-gallon container of gasoline, 3 emergency flares, 3 9mm pistols with 3 magazines of ammunition each, and 3 single-serving food rations. The infected personnel were instructed to observe and avoid interaction with the infected villagers as long as possible. But should a situation arise where they are met with aggression or feel they are losing themselves to SCP-610's influence, they are free to kill as many infected villagers as they so choose, and do as much damage to infected objects and property as possible while maintaining video feed. The intent of this order was to provide data of SCP-610 infected communities in a raid situation, so a plan of eradication could be better established.
Why not just nuke it? Literally just nuke it. Atom bomb. Send it. Wasn't it Russia? I think. Wasn't it Russia that tested? Was it a nuke or an atom bomb? But they tested a bomb, and they tested it to where it was like only like half as strong as it should have been, as they wanted. And when they blew it, it was apparently like multiple times stronger than they had anticipated, and they were like, oh shit, glad we didn't blow it at 100%, or else we would have fucking destroyed the planet. I mean, kind of. I think they would have fucked up the atmosphere or something. I don't know. But yeah, no. Use that sucker. Fuck it up. Fuck it up. Then again, that might just, if it doesn't destroy everything in an instant, it might just be shooting infected material all over the place, so maybe that's not a great idea. But still, you might want to consider it. I don't know.
At the time of this expedition, Site C was suspected to be a possible origin point for SCP-610.
Oh, really?
Having far fewer mobile infected than other sites, as well as structures which appear to have been layered over several times, with the terraforming effects of the immobile infected.
So I thought it was a lot
Class
older
D personnel,
than all the places,
known henceforth as DI-1, DI-2, and DI-3, were directed to pay particular attention to anything that could be considered an origin point for SCP-610. The track from the perimeter camp to Site C was uneventful. There was no evidence of any native animal life in the area. As Site C is approached, there is no noticeable rise in the temperature within the last 30 meters of the trip that necessitates removal of the heavy cold-based coverings that were provided. The temperature rises again sharply at the entrance to Site C proper, which requires a further shedding of garments
Dear
for
God.
fear of heat stroke. Temperatures within Site C are described as being heavily humid, around 32 degrees.
Damn, that is
That's
hot.
89
Okay, that is
Fahrenheit. One of the
pretty
first
fucking warm.
immediately noticed traits about Site C is an array of immobile pylons, which encircle what is believed to be the entirety of the site, separated by an apparent distance of 5 to 6 meters. Each pylon appears to be 2 to 4 infected persons fused together in one spot. On some of these pylons, features such as faces
Oh, that's
or
terrible.
anuses are still visible, in addition
What the
to
fuck?
several other holes which do not naturally occur, all appearing to act as heat vents. Where the heat is generated is unknown. Current belief is that this is an advanced stage of SCP-610 terraforming in its environment to facilitate spread of itself. DI.
It's so fucking weird. Okay, so it's a ring of pylons made out of multiple infected people, and they're producing heat. Dear God, holy shit.
2, who was the furthest along in progression of SCP-610 of the 3 by a number of hours, begins to seizure after only a few minutes in Site C during examination of the pylons.
Okay.
The progression to the scar tissue phase of SCP-610 infection is observed in full course as DI-2 spasms on the ground.
I mean, they did say higher temperatures cause the infection to spread faster, so I'm assuming that's what's happening here because it's so warm. Almost 90 degrees with a shit ton of humidity, apparently. And then again, that heat's coming from fused bodies producing it, so yeah, there's definitely got to be a ass ton of humidity.
His entire body being overtaken by the sticky tan flesh almost entirely after 45 seconds.
Damn.
DI-2 was terminated by a gunshot from DI-1, and his equipment left where it is. The spread of SCP-610 over DI-2 continues even after death of the body until all movement ceases. As perimeter control is relaying new instructions to DI-1 and DI-3 regarding the situation, there is a shift in the ground covering in Site C where DI-2's body is.
What?
Video feed shows the flesh-like growth splitting open beneath his body and a series of ropey tendrils coming from within the gap to pull his corpse inside. This opening closes up quickly. Total time elapsed 3 seconds.
I'm sorry, did you just say the ground opened up like a giant maw and then just swallowed his corpse with tendrils? Is the entire ground within that section just a giant infected? What the fuck?
As DI-1 and DI-3 decide to act quickly in these hotter temperatures, fearing the same fate, they proceed to the village center and encounter another previously unknown phenomenon.
Okay, what
In the
now?
precise center of town, rising above what was the community well, is a sphere suspended by angled supports comprised of SCP-610 flesh.
Sphere?
The ball is riddled with the features of humans in early stages of SCP-610 infection.
Wait, in the other story with Herbie, they did say there was a ring of the infected around the well. So are they gonna turn into those supports for this ball flesh? That apparently has early stages of infection, people.
As well as a good number assumed to be in later stages.
Huh.
A number of specimens of non-human life forms, such as deer and bears, are also visible within
Oh,
the
that
mass.
sucks for them.
The entire sphere of flesh pulses at a roughly 5-second interval,
Like a heart?
and with each pulse emits a ring of spore-like material from its equator.
Oh, that's
This
not good.
material floats to the ground and appears to be absorbed into the converted environment. DI-3 begins to douse the sphere with the provided gasoline, and when
Okay.
questioned by a panicking DI-1, explains this looks like as good a thing to burn as any. At this
Yeah.
point, perimeter
Yeah.
control has ceased in giving commands due to the rapid
I
deterioration
feel like,
of events.
I feel like that's
There is
just
no
like a
reaction
heart.
from anything within
Like a
Site
core.
C to any of this activity until the precise moment at which a lit emergency flare is applied to the spherical mass, which immediately goes up in flames. The remote feed plays back a noise from an unknown location that seems to come from a location far outside of Site C, but was reported as being heard, even at perimeter control, by both Site C and A. The noise described as both explosive as if multiple high-yield charges were detonated on a mountainside, and alive, like a large feral creature, roaring.
I can't
Within
even
15
imagine what that would
seconds
sound
following
like.
this sound's dissipation, Site A reported that a series of explosions had occurred within the village. 5 seconds after this report, the spherical mass in the middle of Site C explodes. DI-1 and DI-3 are thrown by the blast. DI-3 is confirmed deceased by DI-1 after regaining his footing, having suffered injury from stone shrapnel from the wall. DI-1 is able to report he has bruises and ringing ears, but aside from the rapidly spreading SCP-610 infection, he suffered no blast damage. During this recording of footage, DI-1 had his video equipment removed and was looking into it. Due to the angle of recording, it is unknown precisely what occurred in Site C, but something draws DI-1's attention back to the center of town, where he stares for several moments and is then pulled in the opposite direction, the video equipment falling to the ground and recording in a skyward direction.
Tentacle now?
The last moments of footage from DI-1's video unit display a humanoid figure moving through the air, followed by the sound of an impact in the same direction.
I feel like that was
Within 3
DI-1
seconds of this
being
event,
thrown.
an unknown creature steps upon the recording video equipment and destroys it. Perimeter control remained on high alert for a full 24 hours at all locations without any incident following this event.
I feel like there's just gonna be like one. I feel like this is not like just like a viral infection. I feel like this is. I don't know how to explain it. It's like all these infections are eventually going to come together to form one, like a body for one giant meat monster that is apparently dormant or somewhat dormant in the mountains of Russia somewhere. And yeah, they're just building a core and trying to build a body or some shit like that. And it's going to get worse.
And moving on to field log SCP-610L3, initial discovery of the tunnel entrances at Site A.
Oh right, there were tunnels.
The destruction caused by the rapid collapse of the Site C exploration attempt during SCP-610L2 resulted in a series of unexpected events in Site A. As the strange spherical formation in Site C was burned and destroyed, the SCP-610 infected inhabiting Site A were recorded by aerial drones going into seizures and convulsions. The immobile SCP-610 infected rapidly shriveled and died, along with all of the flesh material spread across inanimate objects within the village.
So that was a core of some type.
The mobile SCP-610 infected, who were able to regain their footing, all proceeded to what appears to have formerly been an upper-class residence and entered the building. As the infected entered this dwelling, it suffered a foundational collapse, revealing the presence of a sinkhole beneath it. The size
wasn't
of the
a
hole
sinkhole.
in relation to the structure above it posed an impossibility for an entire building to collapse, suggesting something within the hole applied force directly to the structure with the intent to pull it inside.
Oh yeah, there's
and
something
expose
bigger,
the
that's
hole.
for sure.
The revealed hole is approximately large enough to accommodate 3 grown men standing shoulder to shoulder. Light sources applied by remote drones.
Wait, is that? Oh my god! So he pulled an entire building into a hole that small. I mean, it doesn't sound small because it's 3 men standing shoulder to shoulder, but then fucking pulling an entire mansion? That's tiny. Didn't even see the tendrils or nothing. It's like it got sucked in through a straw or some shit. And I don't know what was sucking on the other side of that straw.
Failed
That
to
sounds
penetrate further
fucking
than
horrific.
4 meters depth into the hole. Objects dropped into the hole did not produce an impact sound, suggesting a bottom potentially more than 1,000 meters down.
That's a long ass
Research
fall.
of the exterior of the Site A hole was only able to be carried out for 2 hours at a time. Samples of the atmosphere in Site A indicated a complete death of SCP-610 related materials. All infectious life that did not evacuate into the hole died above ground and quickly became shriveled husks. Manned exploration of Site A was approved and commenced immediately. In the span of 30 minutes, a total of 3 research teams consisting of 2 to 3 research staff and 4 to 5 armed escort each were dispatched and setting up stations within the remains of the village.
Okay, so the apparent core that was in Site C was for Site A. Oh, Site A's core. So where's the where they gotta find more of those. They really they gotta find more of those. Well, there's at least 2 more sites, right? Site B and Site C. I'm gonna assume. That I don't think I've heard anything about a Site B, but if there's a C and an A, there's got to be a B. So there's got to be at least 2 more cores somewhere that you need to destroy to stop this. And then you got to find whatever started this in the first place. Because this is not just a freak accident of an infection. Now, there's something with intent behind it, that's for sure. And that's the scariest part of all this.
Samples of deceased SCP-610 infected and converted matter were sent back to Perimeter HQ for processing and transport.
Please don't get infected by all this.
Recover a small sample of still living SCP-610 tissue substance from a building and pack it for research. Within the second hour of exploration of Site A, a series of echo reverberation units were set up surrounding the hole with the intent of getting an accurate mapping of the hole and possible branch tunnels. At the end of this second hour, before the echo units could be activated, seismic activity began to occur within Site A.
Oh boy.
2 teams of the original 3 remained on site, the third en route back to Perimeter HQ with samples. The third team was instructed to proceed back to Perimeter HQ when seismic activity began, and were told that Site A should not be returned to for assistance.
Okay.
Seismic activity at Site A capped at a 2.3 Richter level before petering off. Immediately following the seismic event, a torrent of SCP-610 spores erupted from the hole and layered the area around it for a span of 50 meters.
Oh, that's really
As
not
all
good.
Staff on site were in Level A hazardous material suits. This spore burst was startling, but did not lead to any infections.
Okay, that's good.
As the eruption was being reported, both teams at Site A came under attack from aerial life forms infected with SCP-610.
Aerial life
These
forms?
organisms were captured by the remote drone video equipment and showed extremely advanced stages of infection. It is impossible to tell what they mutated from to this present state. Many of the avian creatures attacked by splitting their heads in half and clamping them against research members, pulling them into the air and dropping them into the hole when possible. These avian infected proved vulnerable to small arms fire. In dispatching them, a total of 2 research staff were lost to the hole, and 1 injured due to crossfire.
Who's the idiot that don't know how to aim their gun right? Fucking panic shooting motherfucker. You don't want none of those. You don't want one of those guys on your team. That's no.
The injured staff was put down immediately upon showing signs of infection due to his suit breach.
Because some idiot shot him.
When radio contact was lost with the remaining teams inside Site A seismic event began to occur, starting out in the 1 to 1.5 range and scale.
Smaller,
Attention was directed at the hole to prepare for a second assault. A second spore burst erupted from the hole during the rising seismic activity, at the point where scales registered a 3 to 3.5 in force. A new unseen SCP-610 entity began to emerge from the hole.
That's not good.
The only footage captured of this creature depicts an engorged human head, approximately 20 times larger than normal, pressing itself out of the hole with no discernible body.
So it's just
video and radio contact were lost as seismic forces increased to 7 on the scale for 2 seconds duration, then abruptly ceased. Further aerial surveillance of the Site A hole and area depict 0 activity and no traces of the research teams, or their ever having been there. All personnel and equipment are considered lost.
Yeah, they're all probably in the hole now, so there is definitely like a Queen Ant situation going on down there. That's for sure. And all like the I don't know what you would call it, the stronger mutated SCP-16s are somewhere down in that hole too, kind of as guards. So probably gonna need to explore those caverns if you really want to stop this. Yeah, there's got to be like a main body that started it all somewhere down there.
The next field log is SCP-610L4, unmanned exploration of the Site A tunnels. Events regarding the discovery, research, and handling of SCP-610 rapidly degraded to a point where fail-safe options were being considered. For over 1 hour, Nothing further had happened at Site A following the loss of the research teams during the seismic events in SCP-610L3.
I got a feeling you guys might want to like put up a wall or something around that hole, because I feel like at some point there's just gonna be a flood of infected that just come out of that hole at some point. Like a terrible, horrible flood of fleshy disgustingness, Silent Hill bullshit. And you might want to have like incendiary rounds or bombs like ready to go. I would.
Subsequent contact with previously unseen SCP-610 life forms. With the absence of activity at Site A, a remote drone dispatch was authorized in 2 parts. The first part would drop a remote relay device at the entrance to the Site A sinkhole, and the second part would dispatch a drone into the hole directly to relay its data to the remote relay for transmission back to HQ. Drones on site were powered by solar energy, with a battery maintaining a 4-hour charge.
You need to get a bigger battery.
The video log recovered from the Site A sinkhole drone before its loss. Video feed activates. Researcher's face is seen looking into the camera, applying a polishing cloth to the lens. Quote,
Okay.
"This is explorative drone SCP-610-1 coming online. Systems check out. Video confirmed. Feed is good to relay station. We are testing rotors now and deploying if successful." End quote. The sound of the helicopter blade starts up as video feed begins to lift in the air. Camera tilts left and right to test pan features, then directs itself towards the Site A sinkhole. Quote, "Video feed is go. Engines are go. Links are green. All right. Sending drone down now."
Could end terribly, or
Audio
this
from
could
the
end
outside world
really well.
fades away as the camera angles itself down and peers into the darkness within the sinkhole.
I hope it's kind of like a flashlight.
After approximately
or
2
something.
minutes of descent, lights on the drone activate and illuminate a roughly dug shaft.
Shaft.
Initially, it is unclear what could have created the hole, but at a glance, it would appear that the shaft was created by a single event, rather than dug over time. At 15 meters descent, there are traces of SCP-610 material attached to the dirt and stuck to rocks.
Ooh.
The material is dormant, but retains its texture and appearance, unlike samples from above ground level, which shrivel and dry rapidly. There is a possible connection with this material and the events last recorded during SCP-610L3. Descent continues. At 100 meters in depth, branch tunnels become visible in the walls of the sinkhole.
Shit, that's
Panning
not
of the
good.
camera reveals small tunnels branching out, apparently at random intervals, but which are not restricted to any one side of the hole. These tunnels are considered too small for any useful exploration to occur.
Oh, no.
Descent
You don't gotta.
continues.
No, don't go past.
Increase in density of SCP-610 materials on walls is noted.
Yeah, that's where you go wrong. That's where everything goes wrong. Oh, we didn't think that was important. No, that's probably where the biggest threat are going to come out of. Fucking little rat-sized SCP-610s that can scurry about and infect a shit ton of people. That's how the Black Plague started. Technically, it was the fleas on the rats, but still.
As depth increases. At 250 meters, the bottom of the sinkhole becomes visible, and the tunnel slopes sharply, suggesting unnatural formation, which was already suspected.
Well, yeah.
Drone video shifts to illuminate this tunnel, and drone proceeds forward through the area. SCP-610 coats entirety of the tunnel now, and care is taken to keep the drone from coming into contact with any surface. Movement is detected 5 meters ahead. Lights on the drone are dimmed, and weapons come online.
Oh shit, it's even got weapons on it? Goddamn.
The SCP-610 drone is equipped with a 5.56mm machine gun containing 50 rounds of ammunition.
Only 50? I feel like
This is
they're
meant
gonna
to be
need more.
used to deter wildlife away from the drone and defend against aggression when possible, rather than to dispatch a target, although it is fully capable of handling human aggressors in small groups. Camera focus turns to the moving mass of flesh ahead at 3 meters. After focus clears, the movement appears to be coming from what appears to be a deer,
Ooh.
uninfected,
Uninfected?
wriggling in the grips of tendrils composed of SCP-610 material.
Oh.
Deer is being suspended above the ground with unclear intent.
Emergency
The
food
drone
supply?
is moved past the trapped deer while holding it in view of the camera until
the
safely
fuck?
away. Nothing occurs with the deer, and the drone proceeds past.
How'd the deer even get down there? Was it grabbed by a tendril or what? I mean, they did say the ground cracked open and tendrils took what, DI-2? Is it? Was it 2? Took his body. And apparently the ground closed up after that, so I'm assuming that's what happened to this deer. Except he wasn't eaten yet, or infected. He's just stored there. Fucking storage. Emergency food? I don't know, but
Undisturbed.
that's
The previously
disturbing.
fairly level ground of the tunnels displays large humps in apparently random placement. 5 meters ahead of the drone, 30 meters past the encountered deer. Upon approach, these lumps turn out to be similar to the infected villagers who escaped from Site A into the sinkhole after the destruction of Site C.
Oh,
The sound of rushing water is now detected, and the drone is pushed forward.
rushing water?
100 meters further into the tunnel,
It's probably
the
not
sound of
water.
running water is now deafening. Drone
Oh,
lights reveal
there's
a
a
running
river
stream
down
of
there.
water, potentially from one of the adjacent rivers in the area. A sample vial is placed in the water, allowed to collect, and then released with an active tracking beacon. Later recovery of this sample indicates no SCP-610 contamination of groundwater.
Really?
The
That's
tunnel
shocking.
splits in two at this point.
I didn't even think that was gonna be actual water. I thought that was gonna be like waste management for whatever the main body is for this whole thing. You know? It's just gonna be shit and piss all in that sucker, but no. Clean
Tunnel leads
groundwater.
around the river
That's fucking shocking.
and then seems to slope downward, while the other is directly above the light source in the ceiling. This second one is selected to facilitate recovery of the drone. During adjustment of the drone's flight path, it comes in contact with a portion of the tunnel wall coated
Oh,
in
that's not good.
SCP-610, causing a deep gash from the propeller of the drone, which is already healing over when the camera focuses on the impact point. The drone proceeds upwards.
Yeah, you might not want to touch that
300
drone
meters
now.
of upwards travel, taking approximately 45 minutes, results in the drone emerging into a windy section of mountain,
Uh-oh.
where it is directed to stay low. Camera panning.
Is there gonna
of
be
the area
another
reveals what
infected
may have
village?
Once been a village,
Yep.
long since abandoned.
No, it's probably
The
not
precise
abandoned.
location is unclear, but it is assumed to be in the vicinity of Site B.
Oh, there is a Site
judging
B.
from
Fucking
estimates
knew
in
it.
travel by the drone. The buildings here are coated in deceased layers of SCP-610,
Oh.
and unlike other buildings in Site A and Site C, which were coated in SCP-610, these buildings appear to be constructed directly from the tissue substance.
Does that mean it's just a bunch of the infected people that came together and literally formed a house? A house of flesh? A house of people? What the fuck?
After a cursory scan of Site B, it is determined there is no life here, either natural or SCP-610 related. So the
Okay.
drone is directed back into the tunnel. As the winds around the area make aerial recovery impossible, upon descent into the tunnel, a deep roaring sound fills the audio, and video feed becomes choppy as something blocks the signal.
Well, that's
During
definitely
periods
not
in
good.
which connection to the drone is clearest, its camera and weapon are angled downward, and propellers slow in speed to allow a faster drop. Video feed becomes entirely clear for the final 2 minutes before feed is lost.
Oh, that's
Rushing up toward the
bad.
drone from the area below is what appears to be a large human face stretched to
Oh,
20
that's
times
great.
its proportions.
It's the thing that came out of the hole and ate those researchers.
Created by the SCP-610 material. There are eye sockets, but no eyes.
A
A
mouth.
mouth, but no teeth.
Oh, that's
The drone
great.
fires upon this rushing mass of SCP-610, but the bullets do not deter it. Impact points remaining visible for several seconds before closing over themselves. There is no room in the tunnel for the drone to take evasive action, and it is swallowed by the mass. Our SCP-610 is considered lost until 3 hours later,
I'm sorry,
when the
what?
feed inexplicably returns.
It came back.
Video
Where-
feed from the
where
drone
was it?
appears to show a series of structures illuminated by one of the 2 lights of the drone. The camera pans around without instructions from the remote relays or HQ, capturing a vast number of shambling entities within the area. SCP-610 material moves over the lens of the drone, and video feed is permanently severed.
So the big-headed one, the big head-looking one, swallowed the drone, and I'm assuming wherever its maw is connected to, its quote-unquote stomach, there's a bunch of other SCP-610s in there. It doesn't say it's SCP-610s. It says a vast number of shambling entities. So either way, it was probably in the stomach, and there's stuff in there. There's thingies all up in
Manned
that sucker.
exploration
Okay.
was approved.
I'm sorry, by
Results
who?
are in field log SCP-610L5. Manned exploration
Of
of
what?
the Site A tunnels.
So you're telling me you saw that video feed of the drone getting swallowed by some chunky, meated, big-headed monster motherfucker and said, you know what, I think we should send more people in there. Fucking what? Alright, whatever. Keep going. Let me hear this.
Approval from Central HQ was granted for a manned assault excursion into the tunnels beneath Site A
Why,
to
though?
try to ascertain the extent of the SCP-610 infection. The destruction of Site A and Site C have established SCP-610 can be contained and destroyed,
Yes.
making the source of the infection top priority.
You probably don't want to meet the source of the
initial
infection,
descent
though.
into the tunnels consists of 5 teams, 2 research and 3 assault, along with enough equipment to establish an underground base of operations.
Might want to bring more
the tunnels
weapons.
was established using pulley systems and a lift to move equipment. Assault teams were the first to descend, armed with flame units to clean SCP-610 out of the area. All teams were able to descend without incident, and flame units took point, providing an undisturbed journey toward the water source where the SCP-610 drone was lost.
So you're purposely looking for a big-headed Jim in there. Okay. Good on you. People got a death
Base
wish.
camp for underground SCP-610 operations resides at the bottom of a 3-way junction, 4 if the water flow is included. The first pathway is that which led from Site A to Cavern HQ. The second is the pathway to the ruined village residing in the mountains above where SCP-610 was destroyed by a large unknown SCP-610 entity.
Yeah,
The
and you're
third
in its
pathway
territory
heads
right now,
west
genius.
and seems to follow the flow of the water for an unknown distance. The cavern area here is quite large and is supported by a number of rock formations that are coated with decayed SCP-610 material.
At least it's decayed,
The state
so
of
I'm
this
assuming it
material
can't be
suggests
infectious.
great age and appears to reinforce the structural supports. Whether or not this is intentional or coincidental is unknown.
My money's on intentional for
The
that
2
one.
research teams split activities between building Cavern HQ and collecting samples of SCP-610 in various states. No contagious materials were detected within this area, and the creature recorded by unmanned drones did not appear at any point to the cavern staff.
What happened to the
Of the
deer?
4 research teams, 3 were ordered to proceed down the unexplored pathway,
I guess they're not
while
going
an
to answer
aerial
that.
drone was prepped for a second recon of the vertical shaft.
No, okay, that's not good.
SCP-610 infection did not appear in the 3rd pathway until approximately 3 kilometers, and serious infection did not appear until 16 kilometers in.
Damn,
Even
that's
after
a
the
good
lengths
bit.
traveled by the assault teams, no SCP-610 infectious life forms were encountered,
That's
and the fleshy
interesting.
material coating the cavern walls posed no threat to the team.
Huh.
The most significant reports at this time were the increasing thickness of the material, suggesting a source,
Yeah,
and the
there's
complete lack of SCP-610
definitely gotta be a source.
contamination in the water.
that
As a
part's
test,
really interesting. So it does not the infection is not carried in water, which is weird. Is it weak to
A
water?
sample
Is
of
it fire type?
SCP-610 was cut away from the cavern wall and placed in the flow of the water.
Oh, they're about
It
to
exhibited no unusual reactions, but
Huh.
was quickly swept away by the current.
quickly swept away. Why would you let it go? Why would you just? I wonder if the water does anything and just toss it. The fuck kind of research is that? No, you put it in like a net or something where you can watch it, and then you dunk the sucker in the water. See if it like I don't know, melts in the water or something, evaporates. I don't know. Either way, if you're going to, you might not want to actually like put it in the river either. That's just infecting the river possibly. If it, you know, doesn't immediately get destroyed by water, unless its weakness is water and gets, eroded and destroyed and then melted in water like it's acid to the thing. But then again, it was coming. The core thing might have been coming out of the well. It might have been using the wells to travel, because didn't you say the core was over the well on top of pillars made by, well, the flesh? Wasn't that it? So I'm assuming they're using the wells for something. But no, why would you just toss it in the river and let it go? Wee, bye. What is that doing? Who is that helping?
At
y'all
20
are idiots.
kilometers in, the leader of the assault teams requested a transport buggy to be dispatched to them. One was available at above ground HQ. However, it would take time to move it to Cavern HQ and then remote drive it to the teams. Rations provided to the assault teams were sufficient, so a camp was established while the buggy was moved and readied.
What, did they want to walk back?
During this time, an aerial drone was also sent to explore the vertical shaft. The results of this exploration were placed on hold with the arrival of the buggy at Cavern HQ, and ultimately concluded in
Of course, this data expunged.
The buggy was navigated to the
Blue
assault
ball me,
team
why don't
encampment with no events en route. However, upon arrival and preparation to continue the exploration, the assault teams came under attack by a number of large SCP-610 infected life forms that emerged from the area ahead of them.
Oh, that's
Video
great.
recovered from the assault team cameras show them caught off guard, as SCP-610 infected made no sound and were undetectable. On one film, for 1 to 2 seconds, it appears that some of the creatures are coming out of the SCP-610 materials on the wall.
Oh.
Not emerging from them so much as being created by the material, and then breaking away to act independently.
Maybe they weren't created. Maybe like the material on the wall were literally just them. Like all the SCP-610 infected were they were the material on the wall, and instead of being born from it, they just kind of, how do I say this? They kind of like linked to each other like they did for the pillars and the pylons, and just covered the walls as like a sheet. And then when these guys came, they kind of undid themselves from it and back into whatever human-esque shape they were in, and then started attacking. I don't think they were actually born from the wall. I think they were there the whole time and just never got like the signal, I guess, from whatever the Queen Bee is for this, the signal to attack yet, and then they just got it and decided, all right, time to unlink, fellas.
During this assault,
get their ass.
an attempt to protect the buggy, members were lost to the water currents, and contact with them was lost. Contact was regained, however, and is recorded in SCP-610L6.
Oh, if they went down the river, they're probably safe, because apparently the water's not infected, and I don't think any of the infected are going to jump in after them. Maybe.
The remainder of the assault team now consisted of 3 members, armed with a single flame unit. Use of this unit to repel the assault proved vital, as standard firearms did minimal damage to the infected creatures.
Yeah, they probably don't really
These
have
infected creatures show minimal traits to associate them with any known form of life in the region, giving rise to the belief that they may have been spawned by the SCP-610 infection itself as a form of defense.
Now there goes my theories out the door. I guess it's kind of like a white blood cell infection defense thing. I don't know.
No further casualties were suffered during the raid, and the remaining members managed to eliminate all attacking infected.
Well, good for them.
allowing them to continue with exploration with added orders to attempt to locate lost team members.
Bad idea.
Further 20 kilometers into the tunnel, the river separated from the tunnel pathway, and the team was instructed to abandon the recovery order, given the inability to navigate the waters safely.
Okay, at least you went back. That's good.
A total time passed before the remaining assault team reached an end in the tunnel. At the perimeter of the area, now known as Site B, the team came under assault again from a smaller
Should've just went
number of
back.
SCP-610 that were much larger in size.
Oh, that's good. That's
These
good to
infected
know.
appeared in the tunnel as if they were lying in wait for the approaching
They probably
team.
were. It's probably a
These
hive
creatures
mind.
were dispatched using the flame unit, although all fuel for the unit was expended in this act.
You didn't bring it back
The
up.
assault team was now limited to standard weapons and short-range personal flame units.
Okay, now it's definitely time to
A
go
time
back.
lapse of 5 minutes is allowed to pass before the team proceeds further into Site B,
How stupid.
cautious of further assaults by SCP-610 infected. The tunnel widens out into what appears to have once been a village of intermediate age. The construction of the buildings in this area are primitive compared to the settlements at Site A and Site C, and are clearly of human construction. Many of the buildings rest at angles or slants, suggesting that they were disturbed by a cave-in. Of interest is a building that appears to be a church with a working clock tower. This building is built atop the remains of 2 older buildings that have fallen completely, and has a visibly stable foundation.
That makes it sound like the church is far newer than some of the other buildings. This building is built atop the remains of 2 older buildings that have fallen. Huh.
Surrounding all structures in this area is a depression in the ground filled with a substance resembling a liquefied form of SCP-610
Oh,
fleshy
that's
materials.
wonderful.
The pool moves as if acted upon by minute and unseen forces,
Ugh.
rippling outward from invisible contact points and rolling in waves from unfelt winds. The team avoids this pool at all times.
Yeah, good
and
idea.
proceeds through the ruins slowly.
I wouldn't
on
want to be
stable
near a pool of
foundations where
flesh
possible,
either.
making the church their target area. Within the church are pews, as would be expected. However, there are only 4, one of them shattered, when the building could accommodate as many as 20. The 3 intact pews were arranged in a 2-1 formation facing a pulpit. There is no trace of dust on any surface, the entire area appearing to be immaculately clean,
That's
given the location
concerning.
and believed age. Behind the pulpit is a hole in the floor exposing an area of the SCP-610 pool beneath the building. The church in ruins
Drop a
appear to
Molotov
be
cocktail in there or
uninhabited,
something.
and exploration of the church proper is uneventful until the clock tower bell tolls.
Oh, that's not good.
This tolling triggers a shudder in the building, followed by human screams from the ceiling. Lights
Oh.
shone upon the ceiling reveal a large mass of SCP-610, from which descend a series of 6 wooden circles. Strapped to each circle is a living human, coated entirely from neck to toe in SCP-610, but having an exposed head, which appears uninfected. These human captives scream as the bell continues to toll and the circles move to the ground. The team begins to move toward one to investigate when an unknown creature cries from outside the building, prompting them to take cover in the shadows near the pulpit. The light sources are extinguished, pitching the entire area into darkness. Night vision is left off to avoid revealing the team's location.
It's gotten far more disturbing. So there are living humans. Who knows how they got there? Strapped to these wooden circles that are hanging from essentially a meat ceiling. Fucking what? What? Is this church where it all started? Was it a cult church? Did they summon something from another dimension that turned into this fucking infection? Like, what the hell? And this is an intermediate age, so it's been there for a good bit. Wouldn't all these fresh people come? Were these people there since the beginning and they just been somehow kept alive to be used as something. Decoration? I don't know.
The sounds continue to
Fucking
emit from
what?
outside of the church, drawing closer but lower than the frantic screams of the captive humans. At least one noticed the team, as the captive humans often call out to be saved. From the entrance to the church, a candle lights on the side of the doorway, then one on the other side.
What the fuck?
A figure is seen holding a small torch and moving back and forth between a series of candles to light the doorway. The flame is then applied to a rope coated in SCP-610, which quickly ignites and spreads up to a peculiar chandelier system at the church entrance. The light from this system illuminates most of the crosses, but does not reach the team's hiding place. Those captives who appear in the light do not show standard signs of the beige-colored SCP-610 infection, but instead are wrapped in a red variant of it, which shows signs of constant motion, rippling across itself in waves.
Is it
From
keeping them
outside the
alive?
church, a flood of SCP-610 infected shamble quickly into the area, ignoring the man who lit the candles and stands in the middle of the room. They proceed to the captives on the wooden circles and begin to pull at the red SCP-610 masses, resulting in further screams and cries.
They're gonna start eating it?
From what can be gathered from the return video feed, the red SCP-610 seems to be connected to the captives and is using them as a source of sustenance that it then uses to grow and feed the normal SCP-610 infected.
Oh god, that's fucking
Overly
horrible.
zealous infected tear at the red mass too hard, which results in pulling skin and tissue from the human captive beneath. This exposed area is quickly covered over by the red mass, which then grows in size. Feeding like this continues for approximately 6 minutes, at which time the candle-bearing figure sounds a gong, and all infected entities move to the pews. There are several more creatures than seats, but none move past the frontmost pews. The figure who sounded the gong does not move, spontaneously collapsing as if made from hollow clay. From the pulpit area, activity is noticed as a pillar of SCP-610 flesh rises through the hole and extends, directing itself toward the gathered creatures. No sound is heard, and no motion is recorded once the pillar stops moving. The silent period persists for 10 minutes without even the human captives making a sound, having fallen silent at an unknown point. The pillar of SCP-610 retracts back into the hole it emerged from without any warning, prompting the departure of the infected from the building. The candles remain lit, and the team emerges after all infected appear to leave the area. The descended captives remain at ground level as well, all screaming, seeming to have ceased, but still showing signs of life with heavy breathing and movement. Upon departure,
Did the meaty pillar just give him like a psychic sermon or some shit like that? Like psychic instructions, hive mind instructions. I don't fucking know. And what was the thing? They didn't even try to investigate what was the thing that lit all the candles. I know it said it collapsed like a hollow clay doll, but there's got to be something remaining there, right? They didn't even try to take a look at that, because I feel like they should have. This is getting real weird.
from the church, camera feeds from all 3 members became erratic.
Uh-oh.
Camera 1 ceases transmitting completely.
That's not
Camera
good.
2 shoots straight up into the air for several meters. Camera 3 captures the member with camera 2 being flung by a tendril that emerges out of the ground itself.
Oh, that's really not
swinging them
good.
out of sight onto the other side of the ruins.
Ooh, well, they're all
Camera
dead.
1's feed is restored and displays camera 3's owner running briefly in the direction of the lost team member, only to turn and run back as SCP-610 infected pour from between buildings. Combat
That's
ensues
really not
between
good.
the 2 members, and the onrushing infected using assault rifles and personal flame units, successfully driving back enough of the horde to make an escape towards the buggy. Passing by a building, Camera 1's owner is ambushed by a figure resembling the figure who was in the church, lighting candles, wielding a large crop scythe. Camera
What
3's
the
owner
fuck?
continues without pause towards the buggy location. However, The buggy is found half absorbed by the SCP-610 mass covering the floor.
They didn't see that when
While
they came
trying
in
to
here.
find another way of escape, Camera 3's owner turns to find the same figure with the scythe approaching, weapon raised. 2 shots are fired, and the camera feed ends. 5 hours later, while final decisions were underway to decide how to contain or eradicate the SCP-610 threat, time-delayed video feed from the lost team members who fell into the underground river currents was established, has been filed in SCP-610L6.
And L6 has been expunged, right? I think that's what he said at the beginning.
As I said at the start of this lecture, SCP-610L6 has been redacted and is only viewable by Class A personnel or higher. Thank you very much for listening, and that concludes today's lecture. Thank you.
Oh, this definitely has the feeling a cult practice has gone wrong all over it. Is there anything after this, actually? Oh, that's the Patreon thing. No, I guess not. Okay. So, what is that figure then? Figure that looks like the one that lit the candles in the church, but that one apparently collapsed like hollow clay, as he said. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming there's got to be like an actual human person helping with this. Like it had to have started as a cult, and there's got to be people trying to help the infection to spread. Because how else are they going to get those regular people that were tied up to those wooden circles to have the red flesh, I guess, feed off of them, so that the weird 610 creature things can feed off of it? They've got to be luring people there somehow, right? It's not like those people are going to be there the whole time. It's not like their flesh is going to get regenerated by the red one, the red SCP-610. No, they're going to die eventually, probably, so they got to get fresh meat in there, so somebody's got to bring them. So it's definitely feels like there's a cult aspect to it here. And whatever I guess the main entity that's creating all this, they see as their god, I guess. I don't know. Maybe there's a connected SCP to this, because that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes, like 2, 3, 4 SCPs are connected to each other, even though they're made by different people at different times, which would be very interesting. But yeah, so far that's what I'm getting out of it. So I'm assuming that cult started in that church. They probably performed some kind of ritual to get this interdimensional infection started with whatever the main being for that creates those spores that made that roar when the core at Site C was destroyed. There has to be a main, like, I don't know if it'll be main body, but a main source, a main living source whose spores it creates those meat monsters, turns people into meat monsters, and somehow sentient enough to allow the cultists to live as normal people, just so it can provide more food by luring unsuspecting tourists or people to that church to hang him up as meat production. I don't know, milking them with the red meat stuff. I don't fucking know. This is horrific. I feel like there's definitely human intervention for the beginning of this SCP at the very least. But yeah, no. If y'all got your own theories, let me know. If there is a connecting SCP to this one, definitely let me know about that. But yeah, until next time, y'all, thank you for watching, and goodbye.